morning, beloveds. All right. Okay, sorry. Kind of felt like you guys were up in my face today. Or maybe I was up in yours, you know. God knows what it is with camera angles. It is September 21st. It is Monday, and we are under a tropical storm watch. Yay, we have run out of named storms. We are now in the Greek alphabet, and Beta is currently washing the shore. I'm not even sure where it is, but it started raining yesterday. Fortunately, it's been quiet. There's not been a lot of wind. And the rain hasn't been exceptionally heavy. That could change. It's a slow-moving storm, and that's where we can get into trouble. So, don't get me wrong, we could use the rain. We just would like it to move on and take the rain to places that need it as well. And I don't know. It's been an interesting hurricane season. All right, but today our title is I Live as an Immortal Being, and our Bible quote is, "For I am the Lord, I change not," and that is Malachi 3:6. If you've never gone back and read any of the prophets, there are some very, very, very short books. Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Elijah are very long books, but a lot of them are really short, and they're very interesting. So I definitely encourage you to go back, read the prophets. They say interesting things, especially if you can put them in a historical context. All right. The stamp of individuality is eternal. Emerson said that nothing is dead. Human beings feign themselves dead and endure mock funerals and mournful obituaries, and there they stand looking out of a window, sound and well, in some new strange disguise. There exists in every person this hope, this belief in the immortality of his own being, and there is something about every living soul that knows he is made of immortal stuff, that there is no death. But eternity is not some far-off event. Beloved, now are we the sons of God. It is today that I enter into a complete realization of my immortal being. Today I sense that every person is as eternal as God. Today I know that all humanity is clothed with resurrection. Immortality is at hand, and I must experience it. Therefore, I let go of every belief that would deny me the privilege of entering into my immortal state here and now. I live as an immortal being. Today, realizing that there is nothing in my past that can rise against me, nothing in my future that can menace the unfoldment of my experience, life will be an eternal adventure, an unfolding experience of greater and better experiences. Evolution is onward, upward, forward, outward, expansive. Today I exalt in this abundant life. I revel in the contemplation of the immeasurable future, the path of eternal progress, the everlastingness of my own being, the ongoing of my soul, the daily renewed energy and action of that divinity within me, which has forever set the stamp of individualized being on my mind. Okay. I had an interesting discussion a number of years ago with the teenagers. I took the what we believe into the Sunday school class and said, all right, and I would read it to them. And I did try and translate it into kind of more modern language, try that. it's harder than you'd think it is. And so but I read through it and tried to, in case there were words that they kind of went, because even I struggle sometimes with the language that he uses. He chooses words and you're like, what? And so I would read them to him, and then I would say, okay, tell me what you hear. And they were, the kids were fascinating. What they would come back and say, okay, this is what I hear. And I read them one about the immortality of the soul. And one of the kids looked at me and said, oh, you mean like reincarnation? And I went, well, actually, Ernest doesn't believe in reincarnation. What Ernest actually believes in is the ever-expanding spiral. So the immortal part of us will shed this mortal coil, this coat, this mortal coat, and move on into another existence. He doesn't believe that we come back to this existence. He's like, I have done what I came here to do. I am moving on. So he believes that the individuality that we are does continue on into a new existence. And you saw it in Emerson. We'll get back to that. And she looked at me and she said, well, Ernest is wrong. I think she was like 13 or 14 at the time. It was great. So whatever you believe, that's kind of where Ernest is coming from. But sometimes taking this kind of heavy duty stuff to teenagers will give you a whole new perspective. It is totally worth it. They helped me so much with my homework in ministerial school so often. And it was interesting when I would bring projects in that I clearly, I would tell them up front, hey, I took this to my kids. And they were blown away. They were like, well, we never thought to do that. Why aren't you talking to the kids? So that's my PSA there. If you want to get a different perspective on spirituality, go talk to the kids. Go talk to the teenagers and the younger kids. They know more than we give them credit for. All right. So this is Ernest and Emerson, where he's coming from. The stamp of individuality is eternal. So whether or not we come here or not, we continue on. We have always been, we will always be. But will we always look like this? No. Emerson said that nothing is dead. Humans feign themselves dead and endure the mock funerals and mournful obituaries, and there they stand looking out a window, a new existence, sound and well in some new and strange disguise. It's a hard concept because there's no proof, and that's one of those things we have to take on faith. But most faith traditions do say something about the continuation of the soul. Maybe not the afterlife per se, but that we do continue to live on in some form or another. There exists in every person this hope, this belief in the immortality of his own being, and there is something about every living soul that knows he is made of immortal stuff. We are made of divine stuff. Spiritual substance is all that exists. We are made of spiritual substance. Why would we not continue? Energy is neither created nor destroyed. Thermodynamics says that. Therefore, you are energy. You cannot be destroyed. You will continue on. It just won't look like this. And there's something about every living soul that knows that he is made of immortal stuff, that there is no death. It's a shedding of the mortal coil, the material. It is spirit going back into, coming out of form, going back into idea, and then if it chooses, it can come back into form. It's just not going to look like this. But eternity is not some far-off event. And I think this is a Bible quote, but I'd have to go and look. Beloved, now are we the sons of God. It is today that I enter into a complete realization of my immortal being. Take a deep breath. It is today that I enter into my complete realization of my immortal being. It's kind of ironic that we've got a tropical storm and we're talking about this today. Okay. Whoever put this together did not live in hurricane territory. We're just in the month of expectancy. So today, I sense that every person is as eternal as God. Blessing of science of mind is what we want for ourselves, we want for everybody. What we know for ourselves, we know for everybody. That also kind of gives you the hint of if you need to make yourself right with somebody, if you don't do it in this lifetime, you will have another chance, but you might want to do it in this lifetime so you don't have to do it next time. Just my opinion. Today, I know that all humanity is clothed with resurrection. Immortality is at hand, and I must experience it. Therefore, I let go of every belief that would deny me the privilege of entering into my immortal state here and now. I live as an immortal being. So, I let go of every belief that would deny me the privilege of entering into my immortal state here and now. I live in that immortal state, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. Basically, you're immortal now, but what keeps you from feeling that? Let go of that. It's the privilege of entering into the consciousness of immortality. It's like, you are immortal, but what is keeping you out of the consciousness of it? What keeps you in fear that this is all there is? Because this isn't all there is. There's so much more that we can't see. I mean, science tells us that. Science tells us that there is a range of hearing below and above what we can hear. Science tells us that there's a range of seeing, light spectrum that is above and below what we can see. There's so much more to this world than we can see. What keeps us from entering into that consciousness, that privilege of knowing? And it's fear. What are we afraid of? We are afraid of how powerful we truly are. Let me just put a pin in that one. Today, realizing that there is nothing in my past that can rise against me, nothing in my future that can menace the unfoldment of my experience. There is nothing that can keep you from eternal life. Nothing you have done, nothing you could do. There is nothing that can keep you from eternal life. You already have it. Why aren't we living like we do? Life will be an eternal adventure, an unfolding experience of greater and better experiences. Can it get better than this? Yes. Will it get better than this? Yes. Do we have a responsibility to now? Yes. But there is nothing you have done, nothing that you can do that will keep you from this. You are only going to get in your own way consciously. Evolution is onward, upward, forward, outward, and expansive. And that's what he believes. And that, I think that kind of sums up his idea of reincarnation, or that there isn't reincarnation. It's like, I have evolved to this point, and now I'm going to evolve beyond it. I have learned what I have came here to learn, and now I'm going to go and do elsewhere. Today, I exalt in this abundant life. I revel in the contemplation of the immeasurable future, the path of eternal progress, onward and upward, ever onward and upward. If you've ever read The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis from the Chronicles of Narnia, it's a world within a world within a world within a world. You just continue to go onward and upward. The path of eternal progress, the everlastingness of my own being, the ongoingness of my soul, the daily renewed energy and action of the divinity within me. Okay, say that 3 times fast. The daily renewed energy and action of that divinity within me. Daily renewed. So the energy that you need is daily renewed from spirit, which has forever set the stamp of individualized being on my mind. And he uses being with a capital B. So he's not talking about the little being, he's talking about the big one. So what's our mission today? What have we heard? Partly to get out of our own way. Okay, so our mission today is, if we choose to accept it, realizing that there is nothing in our past that can rise against us and nothing in our future that can menace the unfoldment of our experience. Life will be an eternal adventure. Cat. That's what all that thumping is. She just got in one of the cat towers. Yeah, let me see here. Let me give you a cat. I don't know if you can see her. That's not usually the one that gets up in there. Gabby is half the weight of Rita, which is why Rita made all that noise getting up in there. So, okay. So, do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself today and every day, because you are a beloved child of God in whom Spirit is well pleased. You deserve it. The weather right now, it's a light rain if it's raining at all. There is a nice breeze. Please open your windows. Allow that fresh air in. Allow that to bring in a fresh perspective. Allow yourself to open the windows of your soul and let the breath of heaven come in and remind you that you live in heaven now. There's nothing between you and forever except your own fear. So what are you ready to let go of to recognize the adventure, the ongoing, forever going adventure that life is? All right, do something that engages your mind and your body today, please. And do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day. Reverend David will be on with you around 5 p.m. this afternoon, and I will be back with you at 9 a.m. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day.